The fentanyl precursors are distributed by and through companies in China. And what they have now done is, pursuant to our agreement, where we asked for all 13 fentanyl precursors to be designated and fully restricted, and a further 7 chemicals to be restricted as well, this effectively shuts off all of the chemicals and ingredients used to make fentanyl.
That's FBI Director Kash Patel announcing a major breakthrough in the fight against fentanyl. He said during a recent high-level trip to Beijing, Chinese officials committed to designating all 13 chemicals used to make fentanyl as controlled substances. They also say they will clamp down on at least 7 chemical subsidiaries tied to that supply chain. Gatestone Senior Fellow Gordon Chang joins me now. It sounds, Gordon, like a great agreement on the surface. What do you think about it?
Well, the agreement was a triumph, but we got to remember that this agreement was basically the same that Xi Jinping, who made the agreement with Kash Patel, he made that promise to President Obama in 2016, to President Trump in 2018, and to President Biden in 2023. So we have seen this before, and the question is the Xi Jinping going to honor his words? But even if he does, John, the problem is that he could just sort of, instead of flooding the U.S. with the precursors for fentanyl, he could do that for the far more deadly netazines. And we know that China is behind the netazine flood in the U.S. as well. So there's a lot to be parsed here, and we're going to have to figure out how this goes. But yes, we should be happy now, but let's see how it goes.
Yeah, General Jack Keane is our Fox News senior strategic analyst. He's not particularly impressed with the promises of China. Listen.
When we make a deal with China, they have a tendency to renege on it. And the evidence we learned from the Trump administration, no one's ever really confronted China before except the Trump administration, but they reneged on the fentanyl deal. They did not curtail the precursors. This time they say they're going to do that. There is some evidence they're attempting to do that. We'll see if they come through with it.
If they do decide to curtail these chemicals and the precursors, what do you think is the motivation for Xi?
Well, certainly he wants to make nice with President Trump right now because China's been never been more trade dependent than it has been, and it needs the U.S. market, which it can't replace. U.S. consumers account for about 34% of global consumer spending, which means that China needs us. But we got to remember that fentanyl is a project of the Communist Party, an integral part of their unrestricted warfare campaign against us. Because we know that the Chinese central government gives subsidies for the production of fentanyl. Chinese diplomats give cover to the gangs. Every container that leaves China is inspected by Chinese officials. The fentanyl gangs, they launder their proceeds through the Chinese state banking system. Chinese-owned TikTok promotes illicit drug use. And some of these fentanyl producers are actually state companies. So yes, in a total surveillance state, this could not happen without the approval of the Communist Party.
I want to put up some numbers going back to 2023, 27,000 pounds of fentanyl seizures at the U.S. southern border. In 2024, it was 21,000, and in 25, it has dropped to about a little over 12,000 pounds of fentanyl. Now, that's still enough fentanyl to kill everybody in this country, but still, the numbers suggest that importation is going down. Is it that the Chinese are sending less, or is it that they have found other routes around the border and they're getting into this country anyway? Do you have any ideas?
Yes. Well, first of all, the northern border has now become the main fentanyl route. We know that because the world's biggest fentanyl lab was in Vancouver until it was shut down last November. So we know that the Chinese gangs have changed their routes because of pressure at the southern border. So we got to worry about Canada as well.
And you say that the Chinese have been happy to see Americans die from fentanyl poisoning.
Yes, and there's a mirror to this, John, and that is on November 8th, the Washington Post reported that China was flooding Southeast Asia with the precursors for methamphetamines. So this is part of a similar plan, whether it's fentanyl or methamphetamines or the netazines. we are seeing China behind this drug scourge throughout the world.
Gordon Chang. Gordon, thank you.
Thank you, John.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.